Thank you very much, Dr. Basalira. Good morning, everybody. I hope you hear me well. I
Yes,
am
we
very,
hear
very
you.
excited that we are here this morning. And like you said, it's sad that we were not able to meet last Thursday, but we are happy that we have a speaker today who is going to be sharing with us on the topic, the obstacle is the opportunity. Most of the time, we have been asked to identify obstacles and overcome them, go around them, under them, over them. But in today's session, the speaker is going to share with us that, in fact, challenges help us to do something different. Challenges may be the opportunities that we've been looking for, and it is about how we see them. So I'm very excited that he's going to be sharing with us firsthand from his journey. And he has a very long bio, but I believe that as he shares his journey, he will also be able to tell us a little more. I'm just going to say a few things about him. I'm happy to mention that he is an eldest child in a family of 8, raised by a single mother, widowed mother in the rural villages of Bunyangabu district. And his life story is one that is defined by resilience, determination, and commitment. He started his business from a very young age. In fact, that is after he completed primary 7. And very few of us would have even thought about starting a business after completing primary 7. In senior 4, after completing senior 4, he still did business. In P7, he sold passion fruits and reared chickens. After senior 4, he went into rice trade, transporting rice from Kagadi and selling it in Fort Portal. He did his A-levels at Nyakasura School, enrolled at university where he was awarded a bachelor's degree of science, majoring in statistics and with a minor in mathematics. And then, of course, he after university, he has worked with organizations like TASO, Tororo, then Shemonics. And even when he worked in those organizations, his entrepreneurial spirit remained strong. And in 2011, while still employed, he started his business journey. Remember, he had a business background right from a young age. And in 2017, he formally registered a company focused on maize and beans, bulking, supplying high quality produce to various markets. And in 2019, he went into value addition. But he's going to be telling us how did the obstacles become opportunities to get him to succeed in his business, Yield Harvest Uganda Limited. Mr. Businge, we want to thank you so much for accepting to come and share your story. It is stories like yours that encourage the rest of us to do what we do better, and we become better entrepreneurs and contribute tremendously to this economy. You have 40 minutes. Please, I want to hand over to you. Thanks again.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Diana and the team. I'm privileged to be part of this session and to share my experience. Actually, I'm also interested in learning from your center. That one we can share later. But by names, like you have mentioned, I'm called Businge Richard. I come from Bunyangabu, currently based in Fort Portal. My business journey starts right when I completed the primary 7. At that time, we had no father. My father died when I was completing primary 7. So my mother was left alone, and we are 8 children in the family, and I'm the eldest. So the challenge number 1 was support my mother to be able to raise some money, and we support my siblings. So at that time, we engaged in selling passion fruits. We are lucky enough, we are getting passion fruits from the village. We would gather from the forest. By then, Bunyangabu, Kiyombia, was a rural area. So passion fruits you would pick from the forest. Then I would take them to town and sell. But also at the same time, I would rear chicken and take the chicken to the weekly markets nearby our village, as well as their eggs. So I continued like that. I enrolled for secondary school, O level. It was a day school. I continued with the same business of passion fruits. And then when I completed senior 4, because my mother comes from Kagadi, I ventured into rice. There was a business of rice, big market here. So I would go pick 10 bags of rice from Kagadi and they come to Fort Portal sell like that. Then when I completed O level, my mother, because I went to Nyakasura for almost 1 year, that is senior 6, I had refused to continue with education. So my mother actually, that time she was the one who was keeping some of my money. And I actually opened my account, my very first account, when I was still in senior 2 in Centenary. By then, I think that time it was a cooperative bank. They were closing from cooperative bank to Centenary Bank. So in the A level, somehow, because I joined a boarding school, the business ended. So I stopped. Then I was lucky enough, I joined the Makerere University, and it was government sponsorship. So I studied. So during all those 3 years of study at the university, business, I could not do anything. So I stopped business completely. Then when I completed in 2006 at the university, that's where I go. I was lucky enough. I completed in 2004. I stayed for about a year. I attempted teaching, but things were not moving well. So in 2006, I got a job to work with TASO as a data clerk. So in the process, I continued working with TASO. Then later, in around 2009, I joined the Chemonics. They had a project supporting farmers in northern Uganda, which was the Uganda Conservation Farming Initiative. So during the time I was with the Chemonics and working with farmers in northern Uganda, of course, I would get salary, but the salary won't be enough. Each time they pay salary, by the time it goes to the account, I'm back to red. In fact, I would spend it before I earn it because I would go and get debts to settle some things at home. Remember, I continue paying for my siblings' school fees, those who were still young, because our father died a very long time ago, and actually our last born was still in the womb of my mom. So I had to pay for 3 of my siblings' school fees up to the time they finished. So money probably wasn't enough. So the question was, what do I do really to increase my salary or my earnings? So while in Lira, I came across somebody who was doing agricultural inputs. So we became friends. So in the process, I realized that I could potentially do the same business in Fort Portal, and I employ someone to run it. Then that was in 2011. So I got leave for 1 month. I went and hired a room in Fort Portal, that is in Panga Market. I started off with the 1.5, by the way, 1.5 million. I bought things from Container Village. I took them to the shop. So I sat in that shop myself for the first 1 month. Then later, I got somebody, my sister, to sit in. Then I continued working. So the point was for me to be able to get money at least to support me because salary wasn't really enough. Now, during that time, I would get salary and I invest it in the business. Get salary, I put it in the business. I get salary, I put it in the business. Now, the business grew. Now, in the process, most farmers would come, pick seeds, especially maize, and others, we knew them. They would ask for a loan, a debt. They say, I will pay in 2 weeks' time. I will pay at the end of the month. I will pay when I harvest. Then, of course, others started defaulting. Now it became an issue. So I saw I was losing a lot of money as a result of that. So the question was, I was even thinking of stopping the business or switching it. But later, there's a professor who came from Purdue University. He introduced Pix bags to us as a project by the time I was working with that project. Pix bags. Now, I saw them as an opportunity, those Pix bags. So I said, why don't I use these Pix bags to keep the grain, because some farmers started saying that they can pay you using the harvest I have got. They can pay your money using the harvest I've got. So I gathered a lot of grain. But again, maize was buying cheaply, 300, 400. But later, it would raise to 800 by then, 800, 700. So when this professor came with the project to support improved the grain storage, so I picked those bags, some of them, I brought them here. I kept 2 tons of maize. Those were 20 bags of maize in the PICS bags. And at the time of getting the maize, it was 300. I ended up selling at 800 because I had kept them in the PICS bags. So I said, hey, yeah, it means now these PICS bags can potentially do some business for me. So that became a full-time business. So it would allow some farmers, of course, who would assess them, to take our seed on grain, on credit, then they pay using the grain. But now, because of the grains was expanding, many farmers now I also started putting in my own money. Now in 2017, I said, why don't I fully register a company that is involved in grain bulking? So at that time, of course, also my contract ended, by the way. So I left work and I concentrated on bulking of grain. So in 2019, I had to, because of the increasing maize, I said, why don't I also venture into maize milling? So I ventured into maize milling in the 20, I bought machines in the 2019. Then in 2020, I started the milling of Osho. But the whole point is that for me, when we started, the other issue of salary, there was an issue, it was too small. So I said, why don't I really do some business? There was a big challenge, a big issue. You get salary today, in 5 minutes, it is completely done. So I had the endless headache. You get money, you're excited, then again you get headache for how you're going to split that money. So that led me to the starting of the agro input shop. Then in the process, it was successful, it went well, but again, the issue of debts, people failing to pay, defaulting, now also led me to invest in grain. So I bulked a lot of grain. I sold the grain. Now, finally, I went to maize milling as a result of a lot of grain. And remember, maize was always so low in terms of price. So sometimes you would sell cheaply at 500. You have put in a lot of energy. It doesn't make sense. So the milling, at least value addition, led me to seeing that there was a lot of value in maize milling. So at the moment, Yield Harvest is the best producer of maize flour in Fort Portal, and we are producing 2 types of maize flour. We have the white maize flour and the yellow maize flour. Now, the yellow maize flour is also as a result of the current competition, because currently there are so many companies involved in maize milling. So the question has been, how do we increase the market, our sales in the market? How do we also go in as a giant in the market? So 2 years ago, while with the Naseko, they introduced me to yellow maize. So they mentioned that it was highly nutritious, it is full of vitamins. So now I also ventured into the yellow maize, and the model of producing the yellow maize, I call it the grow and buy back model, borrowing from the bulking or the defaulters of 2017 who do not pay. So I give them seed, they go and grow, then I buy back from them. Now, the yellow maize has also improved a lot of our sales, because currently, ideally, we are the only ones producing it. And when marketing it, I tell people it is full of vitamins, which is very true scientifically, and people can get it from Naseko. Now, also along the way, I've because of the PICS bags, I have about 5 members, 5 friends of mine, whom I have introduced PICS bags to. I told them I can support you to bulk your maize, especially when it is cheap. Then you sell at your own time, because this bag can keep maize for almost 2 years. So you can sell at any time when the price improves. So that's another business arm coming out of the PIX bags, and also supporting other friends of mine who are still in work. So they bring the money. I do purchase for them the maize. I put it in the cleaning machines. It's cleaned. Then we keep it. Or for those who want to ferry, I ferry it to their own places where they want to keep it safely, so they can always see their money that is available. Then they sell at the end of the day. So that's how we have worked as a Yield Harvest Uganda. And like you said, the topic, the issues around the challenges, I don't know if people have been able to get the challenges, but for me, I see the summary, there are different levels of challenges. Challenge was number one, when they completed primary 7, no money, struggle at home. How do we get money? So getting into passion fruits, getting into chicken, sort of gave us some income to survive. But continuing with the same business up to O level also helped. Then finally, the little salary. The little salary was a pain, I'm telling you. It was a very big pain. But starting an input shop, it sort of gave relief to me. And by then, by the way, I got married in 2016. So you can imagine what was happening. I need to have a family, but also have my own siblings to support. So to me, I turned that into a serious business, which led into also the aggregation of grain as a result of farmers defaulting. We are taking our seed. Then finally into maize milling, which is starting to work out. So for those, I know this is a professional body. For those interested in maize milling, you can always reach out to me. I give you PIX bags. You bulk your own maize at home. You can bulk your beans, and you also make some money. But the money you're making, when you buy from a farmer and you keep, you're also supporting the farmer to raise some money. At farming level, money is very difficult to raise, I'm telling you, gentlemen and ladies. Farming is not easy at the end of the day. And currently, land is a big issue. Land is a big issue. When farmers are producing half an acre, a quarter an acre. So when you create market, you buy from them. I'm sure you are supporting the farmers. At the same time, you're also supporting yourself to earn some money at the end of the day. Dr. Diana, do you want me to add anything?
Yes, thank you very much. Your host is Dr. Edith, but very quickly, do you have any other lessons you would like to share with the entrepreneurs besides sharing about how you've turned obstacles into opportunities? Any other lessons you want to share before the host comes in to go into the question and answer session?
Maybe the other lesson is I've been doing this business of grain milling without recording. I would just do things because I'm managing it myself. Recording was there's no paperwork at the end of the day. So I attempted getting a loan from somebody introduced me to Uganda Development Bank. But the person asked me, I realized they have no record at all. So we enrolled, I decided to enroll to improve on my records. So now I'm working towards organizing my records to make sure they are okay, that I can get a bigger loan and invest, make the business grow beyond the small way I'm doing the business. I've tried to improve it. I've employed the staff because I realized also I cannot do everything myself. So I have somebody, an accountant, if I may call her that. Then I also have a manager who sits at the station, so that for me, it can focus on sales and looking for other business opportunities. So that is something that I used not to do, to pay attention to. I would prefer sitting there and manage everything myself. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Edith.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Richard. Mr. Richard Businge, thank you very much. We appreciate your time to accept to come and share with us. You've shared with us on the topic, a very important topic of the obstacle is opportunity. And you've told your story of Yield Harvest Uganda Limited. We appreciate your time and thank you for sharing with us your lessons that you learned from this business. I note that you started business when you were very young, after P7. That's when you started practicing. And this came out of the issue of losing your dad. And after P7, your dad passed on and you saw the need to support your mother. And out of this, you went into starting business. So the obstacle at that time where you realized that you needed to support your mother, to support your siblings and keep them in school, you started the business. You also continued doing that throughout all level and even after A level, like you've indicated. You got a job in TASO and other organizations, but still the entrepreneurial spirit continued in you. And you had to continue with your business, which you registered in 2017. Then you started producing grains 2019, and you went into value addition. We see that you continued realizing that obstacles, indicating that obstacles can help to continue in business and to think through the situation and be able to start business. You've narrated the story, a very, very interesting story, and we've picked lessons. I now note that because of the small salary you used to get at work, it again motivated you and inspired you to remain in business so that you can get some extra money to be able to start your family and also support your siblings. We've picked other lessons of it is important that you keep records. It is also important to employ other professionals to come and support you so that you mainly remain at strategic level to start planning further for the business. We appreciate the lessons we've picked and thank you for sharing your experiences. I know people logged on here have learned a lot of lessons, have picked and got inspired. I would like to open up the session so that you interact further when people ask questions. Allow me to invite Miss Sarah Mirembe Rukakamwa to guide us on the Q&A session. Sarah, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saliva. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen on the call. My name is Sarah Mirembe Rukakamwa, as introduced. Mr. Richard, thank you so much for the insightful session you've shared with us this morning. It's really motivating. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen on the call, thanks for Q&A. Please feel free to send in your questions in the Q&A room or chat. Yeah, or you raise your electronic hand in case you want to talk to us directly, and then we speak. We have Estelle. Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Richard. But then she's asking, who is your target market? Do you pay any taxes? Mr. Richard, can you please respond to those questions from Estelle?
Thank you, Sarah. You are very well, but I think I picked the question. One was who is my target market? Number two, do I pay taxes? Yes, I do pay taxes, and I have somebody who comes every year. He works with I have a younger girl who makes sure that all the records are in proper order. Then at the end of every year, he comes and prepares documents and we file returns to URA. So we are clean in terms of especially these banks, some of them for tax clearance. That one I can get it at any moment that I do need. Although I have not yet registered for VAT, I'm still doing the general way because the business is not so big to that extent. Then in terms of the other first question, what's my target market? Now, my target market is Number one is the schools. That's the first market that I normally target. And the schools, I don't just go for general schools. I'm very selective. I look for schools that are sort of funded by weights. They are quite a number that are around. Some schools, especially the private, they delay to pay, and sometimes they don't pay at all. If you engage with them in the business, this one I must say. So I don't target them. Then for the other section of the market I target is the general population, where I pack my maize flour in 5 kilograms so that it is easy, even for somebody who has got his 20K in the pocket, to buy a poncho and a take. Then there are also those that I sell in kilograms because I have an outlet in one of the markets. But also I work with I supply in the rural areas. I have a tuk-tuk and a small pickup where we deliver, we put on the pickup and we go to weekly markets to sell. Because in town, sometimes there are big giants. So it is very hard for you to make big sales. However, nowadays people are beginning to appreciate the portion for yield harvest. We have now overtaken Fort Portal. We have so many orders around Fort Portal town and the nearby districts, especially Bundubujo town. That's our main market. Then for the yellow maize, that one I have strictly marketed it in schools that are Catholic founded, the nuns. Because sometimes when you explain the benefit of the yellow maize, the general public, sometimes they don't understand you. They look at the element of money, but there are some populations of people that have appreciated the yellow maize, especially the nuns who have schools. They are the main takers or buyers of the yellow maize flour that we do have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Richard, for responding to that. We have also a question, at the same time a comment from Kasuja. Thanks for sharing your experiences. It's good that you remain focused as an entrepreneur. It's true that selling some of your products on credit affected businesses. In fact, we Ugandans enjoy getting goods and services on credit, and we don't want to pay. What's your comment on this? How did you handle such clients?
The main clients for the credit were those, the time I had an input shop. Of course, not everybody who walks in that you give credit. No, you first assess. Most times they must have been your clients for some time, or they buy from you most of the time. So by the time you give, you really know that this person will pay. But in the long run, they end up not paying. So the element of defaulting was resolved by, I give you, actually one of the farmers said, but why don't I give you maize? You go and sell, then you get your money. So I said, okay, no problem. Let us do that way. And when I actually sold the maize, I asked other people who had defaulted to pay, give me the maize, me I will sell and get the money. So the process continued like that, and the element of default are sort of reduced, because some farmers find it easy to give you grain rather than giving you even 20,000 shillings as cash. So that's how I manage the defaulters. But of course, sometimes people, when you give things on credit, you have to find a way of demanding your money, even with this flour. Some schools, they give you give them on credit, then they take long to pay. When you go back, they give excuse. Then sometimes they are very tricky. They will pay you, then they get another consignment on credit. But now what I have been doing, especially for the schools, I ask them to give me a post-dated check when they assume that the money will be available. So that day, me, I will deposit the check in the bank. But of course, sometimes they will call you, oh, the money is not yet there. You wait, don't deposit the check. So all those things are bound to happen. But that's how I've been trying to deal with the people taking credit.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Richard. And then we have How are your siblings supporting the business now? And then, have you thought of involving family members? What is your succession plan like? Those are two different questions.
Okay. Yeah, my siblings, now they are mature people. For me now, I'm 45. So most of them grown up. But the last born is the one who drives the truck, deliver to the various markets. So actually employ him myself. Then in terms of do I work alone? No. My wife is the one who has been managing most of these things, especially the agro input shop, because I used to be at work and she was for her best here in Fort Portal. So most of the time, I run this business with my wife. When I'm not around, she does everything. In fact, even with most telephone numbers on the products, it is her number that is there. Because for her, because me, I'm moving a lot nowadays. So getting me in one place is very difficult. But for her, she's moving at one station. So that's how I've, in terms of succession plan, well, I have not thought of it. But my children, when they are in holidays, their work is to sit in the outlet. And the boy, the first one, she works with me at the meeting place. And sometimes he goes with those who are going to sell also in the weekly markets. So I'm assuming that will lead to a succession plan at the end of the day. Even if I depart now, my wife should be able to go on with the business together with his son. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. That's very good that you're doing, involving your family and especially the children in the business. We have a question. I'm going to read the question from James. With the yellow maize, are the farmers able to replant the seeds, or do they have to buy new seeds? And then from Jocelyn, what are the challenges you have met with the employees so far? Mr. Richard.
The question on the yellow maize.
Pardon?
You are very low there. Where do we get the yellow maize seed?
Yeah, with the yellow maize, are the farmers able to replant the seeds, or they have to buy the new seeds?
Okay. The yellow maize is a hybrid, which I also get from is a seed company based in Hoima, Nalweyo, but they have on Ontario Road. So that's why I do buy the yellow maize. It's a hybrid. The hybrid is a maize that you plant, you cannot replant. But there's what they call OPV. OPV, those ones can be you plant and replant and plant, but they are very few. However, I came across a company in
Mr. Richard, we are losing you. You're not clear.
Hello?
You are not
Hello?
clear. Hello?
I was not clear. I'm saying the maize is a hybrid which you cannot replant. So, but we get it from Naseko, a seed company based in Narweyo. Narweyo is found in Hoima, and they have an outlet on Entebbe Road. So it cannot be replanted because it's a hybrid. However, there's also OPV, which I picked from a certain company to an NGO from outside promoting food security in Changwali. So I try to make my own seed using that one, which you can replant as OPV. It's also yellow maize and highly nutritious. There was
Yeah, the challenges. What are the challenges you have met with the employees so far?
the challenges again?
What are the challenges you have met with the employees so far?
Okay. Challenges, number one, others, they feel like the salary is very low. You are giving them little money. Two others, the other thing that is always a killer is to avoid rumor-mongering or Urugambo. Urugambo, people talk like this, gossip around, that is a killer in most of the stuff. So the best way is to always, I normally have weekly meetings to address some of those things, to make sure that I tell them if there's an issue that has not gone right to you, walk to me straight, or go, if you cannot come to me, go to my wife. She will tell you, she talked to her, then we can always resolve it. So the whole point is being open. For me, the biggest challenge with workers is number one, the element of course, our business is not very strong. The issue of salary, which they keep coming up. So you keep bringing people and they go. Then also the Uganda, which we have tried to address. Then also the issue of to produce the best flour, you have to train people. So you train someone today, getting a skill, then after 2 months, they will say, I'm leaving. If not, increase my salary. So they put you on the line just because they know they have acquired that skill. So I've tried to train a variety of people because the first time to produce good flour, I got somebody from Busoga in Uganda who came here. I employed that person for 1 full year, and I made sure he works with my people. But also, I made sure my son, who is now in senior 5, he understands the milling properly, the production of the good maize flour. So now they are going to get holidays. He's the one who's going to manage the whole milling process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. Because of time, I'll take 2 to 3 more questions. From Dr. Edith, how have you added extra nutrients to your maize flour? Isn't it very costly? And then, okay.
Yes, I have not added the nutrients myself, like fortified maize, getting those nutrients and mix them in the flour. So if that is done, it's hard for me to sell because it would raise the cost of a kilogram to a higher price, which most target market cannot afford. However, using the organically, the yellow maize, which is already having vitamin C's in it, and people produce, that one introduces the nutritional component that people would want. But of course, currently people focus on getting their stomach full. Most of the people, that's what I have seen. And their decision on what to buy is driven by the cost. So if the cost is low compared to a better product like yellow maize, they would rather go for the low cost. So I have not added any cost in terms of fortification. I'm only using yellow maize, which is vitamin rich crop for grain.
Okay, thank you. And a question from Estelle. How do you handle aflatoxins that are result of poor post handling methods by farmers? Do you have a quality control team?
I don't have a quality control team. Okay, we manage it ourselves. We have everyone who buys maize, especially my young brother. When he's going to buy maize, he's aware of that. However, that remains a very big problem, a huge problem. Maize, granules, that's a very big issue, aflatoxin, because people are very much interested in money. They get the maize that is already infested, mix it with a good one, with the aim of raising the kilograms. So the question how we have been managed, of course, when you go to buy, you have to take what you're buying. First, you take every bag. You pierce. Okay, we have something we use for taking. You put like 5 corners, and when you see good, then you load it. If it's not good, you don't load it. Now there are some farmers who bring when they bring every you have to check every bag. If it is not good, don't buy it. Good, you buy it. But when it is there, of course, it affects the whole package. you try to try the maize with the, at least to reduce some of those, you cannot sort it, but it still remains a big problem. So the way how to take and buy, and also informing farmers on what they are buying. Now, like farmers of Kamwenge towards the Uganda side, Uganda, they have learned because they are selling a lot of their maize to Rwanda. So those are the beginning where they have their maize. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Richard, for every responding to all these questions. In the chat group, we're appreciating you. From Anne, thank you for the wonderful presentation. From Eva, thank you for the presentation. And then Eva's contact for Mr. Richard has been shared in the chat. Everyone wants it, it's already there, shared in the chat. Thank you all for always being with us every Thursday. And then Mr. Richard, thank you for creating time for us this morning. We appreciate you and we appreciate everyone on the call. Thank you so much. Our friends on the call, we've come to the end of our Q&A. In case you have more questions, please type in. We can always send them to Mr. Richard and then respond to us. Then we share them in the what? In our group. Thank you all. Have a good day and may God bless you all. Back to you, Dr. Basalia.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for managing the Q&A. And I would like to appreciate Mr. Businge Richard for responding to the questions and further interacting with our participants. Mr. Businge, we appreciate you very much. We can also note that you are involving the family members, your children at an early stage, which is really very good. Thank you for sharing the different lessons, the different comments, and also responding to the questions. I know that people who are logged on here have learned a lot from you. Also, the story is very inspiring, indicating that when you face any obstacles, it can be an inspiration for one to go into starting business. And if you identify an obstacle in the community, one can still go out and start business and be able to be successful, because we can see that you started humbly, but you are now being one of the best suppliers of maize flour in Fort Portal, like you've indicated. You've also shared with us how you were able to work with those whom you paid on credit and were not able to pay back. We appreciate your story, and I know we've picked a lot. I would like to invite Mr. Josh Karuhanga, if you are still on, to make some appreciations to our participants. Josh, are you there? All right. Looks like Josh may not be on, but I would like to appreciate everybody who logged on this morning. I can see some of the members who have logged on and our usual attendees who have been participating in this program. I can see Rotarian Elizabeth Sempebwa, thank you for logging on. Rotarian Evas Nyapojo, thank you for logging on. Madam Hope Jemima Kasimba, thank you for logging on. James Kabumba, Mr. James Viancy, thank you for logging on. Mr. John Chisa, Jocelyn Katima, Ms. Sheila Kasuja, thank you for logging on. I can see Madam Monica Mkoza, thank you for logging on. Kemigisha Topista, thank you for logging on. Ms. Margaret Kusemedera, thank you for logging on. Nantume Jane, thank you for logging on. And many of the other members who are here. Some members of staff at Makerere University Business School, we appreciate you. Thank you very much for logging on. And I can see the manager of the Incubation Centre, Ms. Remina Mtangula. Thank you very much for logging on. Ladies and gentlemen, we can see that when we persist and we keep resilient in our businesses, we can be able to succeed and make our businesses become a reality in the different communities where we operate from. Would like to appreciate everybody who logged on this morning, and I would like to invite Dr. Diana Ntamu. Dr. Diana Ntamu, if you are there, could you kindly make some closing remarks? Technical team, help me to identify Dr. Diana Ntamu, if she's still logged on, to give some closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Basalirwa. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate our speaker, Mr. Richard Businge, for sharing such a very, very inspirational story. Clearly, it doesn't really matter what your background is. In fact, it is that background that is going to inspire you to go and identify the next opportunity and exploit it. But also from Mr. Businge's story, it is clear that you do not have to stick to the first opportunity that you identify in business. It is very important that you keep your eyes open, you are keen on what actually happens around you in your business, in your environment. Because he spent time in his business interacting with farmers and also trying to understand their problems, but also wanting to help them, enabled him to now identify a new business opportunity, just moving from input selling to now aggregating and then thereafter value addition. So I would like to urge all of us, and for me, this is the key takeaway from this presentation, that when we are doing business, let us look at those things that we think are, challenging us and see how we can turn them around into opportunities. Because in entrepreneurship, we say that we should always provide solutions to problems, and that's why we are there. So continuously identify the problems and then find solutions, and it is those solutions that are going to bring you the next opportunity. So thank you very much, Mr. Businge. Again, I would like to thank our dear participants that made it this morning. Thank you again. And for us, the most important thing is to go back and do something about what we have learned today. It's not enough for us to come and listen in, but it's important for us to go and take action around what has been shared. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Bye.
Thank you very much, Dr. Diana Ntamu, the Director of Makerere University Entrepreneurship Innovation Incubation Centre, for the great closing remarks. We would also like to take this opportunity, Dr. Diana Ntamu, to appreciate you and the team at the Centre for enabling us to go through these sessions every Thursday. Thank you very much for whatever you do to identify such great presenters like Mr. Richard Businge, who has presented today. Thank you very much, Dr. Diana Ntamu, for helping to take this forward. I'd like to add my voice to appreciate Mr. Richard Businge for finding time in your business schedule to come and make this presentation. I'm sure in future, we'll again look out for you to request you to come and discuss more issues to inspire others in how to start businesses. Thank you very much, because sharing your story has inspired us, because we can also be able to do something better when we persist. I would like to appreciate everybody who logged on this morning. Thank you very much for finding time in your business schedules to always start your Thursdays with us. As Makerere University Entrepreneurship Innovation and Incubation Centre and as Makerere University Business School, we appreciate you. Thank you very much for always providing audience for us to talk to you every Thursday. And we are very hopeful that because of these sessions, we can be able to make more impact on communities, on societies, so that we are able to push entrepreneurship and businesses to move forward. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the top of the hour. And I would like to wish everybody a successful Thursday, and remind you to remember to log on next Thursday. I'd like to appreciate you and end it here. Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now. Thank you very much, Mr. Richard Businge.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much.
You gotta get up. You gotta get up and make a move. 'Cause the world will never see you until you do. No, they don't really care what you're going through. So you gotta show them, baby. You gotta show them the real you. You gotta give them what you've got. No, don't let them see what you're not, 'cause you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby, 'cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you. What do you do when you can't let go? What do you say when you just don't know how you feel? And you know nobody knows how you feel. 'Cause everybody's got their own damn problem. So everybody's trying to find their way. And day by day is a struggle. In this world, you know you have to hustle. Just know that you're not alone. You don't always have to be strong all by yourself. I said it's okay to ask for help. Now listen, people will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. People will find you, but they don't define you. And you will find people who help redesign you. You are a work of art. Bet you didn't think you'd come this far. Now here you are. Baby, you are strong. You are wise. You are worth beyond 1,000 reasons why. And you can't be perfect, baby, 'cause nobody's perfect, darling. But no, 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 there's nobody in the world like you.